Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific. I am speaking out from Lakewood, Colorado, Denver, Colorado area. To those unfamiliar, I wanted to talk today about Cherry May Genova, the Filipina who authorities said jumped out of a 12th-story building in Hong Kong to her death. The Philippine authorities found out that there was foul play, raped and killed, and it looked like several people were involved. I have a couple of questions, but before I ask those questions, my regards. I don't know this lady. I don't know the family. I have spent time in Hong Kong, and I'm very familiar with the Filipinas, and I have a love for their culture and their world, and have many fine Filipina friends. I am sorry for what has happened, and may you find comfort from God during your time of loss. My questions, when I was told by my Filipino friend in Hong Kong this and watched the YouTube videos for justice for Cherry May Genova, I want to know why the Hong Kong authorities did not do an autopsy report immediately and get the findings of those report and make arrests until trial was brought. I'm a little confused as to what happened. It seems to me that somebody dropped the ball somewhere. And for all of the comments that I hear in Hong Kong by the local Hong Kong people that make nasty racial comments against Filipinas, and will leave the name of the ethnicity in Hong Kong that seems to love to look down their noses at the Filipinas, I am disgusted by the authorities' lack of integrity and how they've handled this. They simply wrote it off that she jumped to her death in a suicide. And an autopsy is performed in Iloilo, according to the video I watched, and they find something totally different. I'm a little confused about that. And with all of the news that I hear about the Hong Kong locals getting angry about something that took place in the Philippines, a year or 2 years ago with the Philippine bus incident, I would think that the Filipinas in Hong Kong ought to be screaming for some justice for this young lady. Now, I am not advocating rebellion or stupidity on the part of the Filipinos. Keep your cool. But what angers me is it seems like there's a little discrepancy in the Hong Kong authorities, and I have a question, Hong Kong authorities. What were you doing? Why wasn't an autopsy immediately performed? And if it was, why were the details not released yet? What are you people doing? I'm getting tired of some of the comments made by some of the Hong Kong locals that are against the Filipino population. I know many Filipinos that work very hard and do their job well. And whoever it was that killed this young lady, or however many were involved, I hope and pray that they are brought to justice. That is my take on this. I know nothing of what happened. But what I'm seeing already with the YouTube videos and the stories that are surfacing in the papers in Hong Kong, sounds like Hong Kong's got some splaining to do. I am disgusted. I love Hong Kong. I have a deep love for Hong Kong. I am not happy with the authorities handling this. Sounds to me like they botched it. Seems to me that somebody here is either not doing their job or they're covering up something to make their own people look good. But it's obvious to me, based on what I've watched on these videos, that she was raped, she was killed, and she was shoved out a window to make it look like a suicide. Pretty slick way to cover up a nasty crime. Fortunately, the Philippines are on top of that, and I hope they get their answers. And I hope that this video gets out there, and I hope it causes people to start thinking. And I hope it gets the Hong Kong authorities' attention and they start doing something about this. There's not much else I can say, except to say that my time in Hong Kong, I had a wonderful time. You'll have to forgive me. I'm at a mile-high elevation and my voice is very dry. I just got here about a week ago and still readjusting to the high altitude. My time in Hong Kong was a wonderful time. But I saw a lot of things that disgusted me. And one of those things that disgusted me was the treatment of a lot of the Filipinas by some of the local people. Some of the locals that hired them. Some of the locals that won't do the job themselves and put their own domestic helper down even though they do a good job. I've heard stories of rape and I've heard stories of abuse, but I think the Filipino people have remained pretty cool and calm in spite of the treatment they get. And then the Philippines has one bad accident with some guy going crazy on a bus with a group of Hong Kong locals on it, and the people in Hong Kong scream and yell against the Philippines. It's ridiculous. Nothing but pure hypocrisy. The Filipino people put up with a lot of abuse, and I'm not saying every Filipino domestic helper is good and quality. Some are not. But most are excellent, and they do their job well, and they are abused, and they are put down, and they are called names all day long and all the time. And what bothers me is they come there to get work because their country's so poor. And I'm so tired of the local Hong Kong people making comments on my other videos that the Filipinos don't have to come to Hong Kong. Well, actually they do. Because when you live in a country where you can't make anything, you're going to go where you can make money. That doesn't give the locals the right to treat them less than. But anyways, I don't want to use this as a platform in a terrible time. My message to the Hong Kong authorities is you better get it straight. You better straighten up. And you better release that autopsy report. And you better check it again. And you better fly your officials down there to check the coroner's report down in Iloilo. Because this whole thing is nothing short of disgusting and unacceptable. This is Pacific, signing off. And to all the family and relatives who are going through grief and pain, my hat is off to you. My prayers have been lifted in your direction, that you get comfort, get justice, and get some answers to this soon. Take care.